name is Chris Durham. Welcome to another episode of Drinks from Eddie Muller's Noir Bar. Each week I take a chapter from the book Eddie Muller's Noir Bar, Cocktails Inspired by the World of Film Noir, and I talk about the film in that chapter and I make the drink associated with it. Today we're going to look at the film The Killers and make the drink the Kitty Collins. Now, The Killers was made in 1946, and it's a film that made big stars out of both of its principal actors. That would be Burt Lancaster. It was his film debut, and the other person would be Ava Gardner, who had been bouncing around in Hollywood for about 5 years as a contract player at MGM without making much of a dent anything, which kind of boggles my mind because it's Ava Gardner. But she really hadn't done much of anything over there. She'd made some uncredited appearances mostly. And this was the film that pretty much kickstarted her career. Sometimes when I'm doing these videos, I'll watch other people's videos about the movie to see what they had to say about it. And I ended up watching one from Ben Mankiewicz when he introduced the film in 2022, when Ava Gardner was Star of the Month. And I also watched one when Robert Osborne introduced it, when Burt Lancaster was Star of the Month. And Robert Osborne said something kind of interesting. He said that he compared this film to Citizen Kane. The reason he compared it to Citizen Kane was that both movies start with the main character dying, or in the case of the killers being killed, and then pretty much the rest of the film is unraveling a mystery associated with the death of that person. It's actually a really kind of cogent thing. Big difference is not a big fan of Citizen Kane. Please don't hate on me. I think Citizen Kane is a very well done film, but I really don't care about any of the people in it. So as a result, I don't like it. I'll watch it to see, how it's made and Greg Toland's wonderful cinematography, but I don't particularly like the film. Whereas I do like the film, The Killers, and I do care about what happens to Burt Lancaster. And so I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I saw it for the first time in the theater this year at the TCM Film Festival. It was introduced by Eddie Muller, and Eddie Muller said this about it. He said that the movie starts with Burt Lancaster being killed, and somebody said something about spoilers, and he's like, dude, that happens in the first 2 minutes of the movie, 3 minutes of the movie. The whole movie is about how you get to that point. Don't worry about the spoiler. But what he said about Burt Lancaster was that Burt Lancaster was so messed up from his relationship with Ava Gardner that he doesn't even bother to get up when they come to kill him, and that's pretty hardcore, and it definitely is. He also said this was the film was directed by Richard Siodmak. It was produced by Mark Hellinger. Now, Mark Hellinger, according to Eddie Muller, had always wanted to do a film that was based on an Ernest Hemingway story. And so he went out and bought the rights to The Killers, which apparently was about the cheapest Hemingway story you could get the rights to. The story is probably about 1,800 words. I read it, I found it online. I read it in about 10 minutes on a slow afternoon at work. Even counting in, toggling back and forth to my email to make sure my boss wasn't looking for me when I'm, messing around reading Hemingway when I should be working. But the film really follows those 10 minutes closely. I mean, I don't know whether the dialogue is word for word from the story, but it's pretty darn close. I mean, it's really right on. But almost the entire film, other than that first scene up until Burt Lancaster, the Swede, gets killed, is a fabrication of the screenwriter, and it's all about how you get to this point. It's no surprise that this made a big stars out of Burt Lancaster and Ava Gardner. They're great together. They have chemistry, and she does a number on him. She really does. So, which is about as film noir as you can get. I do want to point out that I hope you appreciate what I'm wearing today. I was toying with the idea of wearing a wife beater because that's what Burt Lancaster is wearing when he first shows up on screen. But I figured you probably didn't want to see the man boobs, so I figured I'd wear a decent shirt and not do the whole wife beater thing. So you're welcome. Now, the drink, the Kitty Collins, is a take on the Tom Collins. Now, Tom Collins, great drink, been around forever, and it's one of those drinks that's super, super versatile. You can make it with vodka, you can make it with rum. Sometimes when you change out the spirits, you change the first name of the drink. Like, for instance, you make it with a tequila, you end up calling it a Juan Collins. It's one of those drinks that you can change it up very slightly and it's always going to work. It would be something that'd be great that you could put in muddled strawberries or blueberries and it would work just fine. In this case, the Kitty Collins, we're tweaking it slightly by adding in green cream de menthe, which is kind of relating to the movie where even though it's a black and white movie, they're always talking about Ava Gardner wearing green. So it's one of those great movies, and part of the reason I picked this film is that we've had a rather mild summer so far this year in San Diego, and it's now starting to get seriously hot. You know, if you don't count last weekend when we had a damn hurricane, it's getting seriously hot, and the Tom Collins is a great hot weather, gonna sit on the porch and have a nice drink because it's too hot to do anything else drink. So I'm really looking forward to it. I will be back in just a minute to make the drink. Hi, welcome back. We had a few technical difficulties this time. I ended up not getting a good recording of making the drink, and I really just want to drink this one. I don't want to make another one just to show you how to make it. The drink uses 2 ounces of gin. It uses a ½ ounce of simple syrup and an ounce of lemon juice, and you shake that, and then you top it with green cream de menthe, which you pour kind of on top of a bar spoon, the backside of a bar spoon on the top, and let it run down the side of the glass. It gives you this nice green color. The garnish is a lemon slice, and since I had some mint in the refrigerator, I ended up taking a sprig of mint and throwing the sprig of mint in there. Sorry you didn't get to see me make it, but it's a good drink and it's definitely worth doing. It's one of those drinks that, as I said earlier, is one of those drinks that you can do it anyway and do all kinds of variances on it, and it'll always work. And this variance is basically just trading out a little bit of the simple syrup for about the same amount of green cream de menthe, which gives it a nice color and gives it a little bit of mint flavor, and then you get the Kitty Collins. So here we go. Oh yeah, that's really good. I was kind of expecting the cream de menthe to kind of overwhelm this, but it doesn't. It's right about where it needs to be. You've got a little bit of the mint flavor, but it's really working well with the citrus, and it's working well with the gin. This is a good drink. So anyway, from the back of Eddie Muller's Noir Bar, we're going to say cheers. Next time we will be looking at the film Pitfall, and I think the drink is the Bobby Brown, but I might be wrong on that. But anyway, it will be the movie Pitfall. So we will see you next time. Cheers.